Hey, welcome to the Dino and Joe Show. My name is Dino, and that man over there is Joe.
What's up, sir? How are you?
Does your shirt say mouse rat?
It does. I'm glad you brought that up. It's from one of my favorite little shows called Parks and Recreation.
Oh,
It's
yes.
it's the band. So I saw it on the internet for $10, and I was like,
That's a
I'm an adult
steal.
with my own money. Let's do this.
That's
So
what my girlfriend lets me think.
yeah, that's whatever.
That's
Okay,
that's the only
if that
$10 I
makes
was allowed to spend that week.
if that makes you happy, go ahead. Well, I really love this shirt because I love the band. They have, of
Yeah.
course, their hit song, 5,000 Candles in the Wind, parentheses, Bye Bye Little Sebastian, which
Yes.
is to this day, if that song comes on anywhere, I am screaming it from the top of my lungs. So
Nice.
it's a beautiful thing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
it makes me kind of think about something. So obviously, I say I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I've stated it. Whether that's true or not is yet to be determined officially. I though do tend to go for things that I don't know, that sometimes I did as a kid and I still do it to this day, right? Like
Okay.
there's certain things that I did as a kid that I will never skip doing as a full-fledged adult, like just by purely numbers adult, but still an adult. So
Okay.
for instance, I'll give you an example. Biggest thing that I will never not do, if I hear an ice cream truck, I'm running after that damn thing. Like I am getting something from that truck. Usually it will be a Choco Taco. I love me a
Do they
Choco
still make
Taco.
those?
Hell yes, they do. I had one a year ago, maybe.
Do you remember when Taco Bell used to carry the Choco Taco?
I was upset when they stopped. It
I
seemed like
remember the
such
day
a
that I went to order one, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that anymore." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm
what is
done.
wrong? Yeah, I no
Okay,
longer am interested in you.
I have no need for your
Yeah.
burritos. Bye now."
It, it, so it depends on the season, right?
Right.
Sometimes it'll be a Choco Taco. That's my
Yeah.
usual go-to because it's amazing.
Sure.
Klondike bar, I love that.
Yeah.
I do love a push pop. Oh, come on. Who
Mm.
doesn't love a push pop?
When's the
Really? You
last time you had a bomb pop?
okay. Yes, that was gonna be my next one. Just to make sure we're on the same page, it's the red, white, and blue one, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I
yes,
didn't know there
yes,
was
yes.
another one.
Yes. Well,
That's
I
the only one
wanted to make
I
sure. I didn't
yeah.
know if Ohio and Chicago were different in what they
I don't know. I
named
didn't
things.
grow up here, but no.
Well, fair enough. But anyways, it's
When I was a kid, I had no idea.
atomic. Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
just
Bomb pop. Yeah.
it's but
Delicious.
I will never not do that though. Like if I hear that to this day, I was
Yeah.
actually doing the lawn at my in-laws' house,
Okay.
and I'm not kidding you. It went down the street. I yelled to Tiff, grab my wallet, and I flagged the guy down. And I said, hang on a second. I was like, sorry, my wallet's coming. And she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, the ice cream guy's here. And she's like, you're so stupid. And then just left. And I was like, well, guess who's not getting a fudge-sickle now? So that attitude just cost you a
No,
fudge-sickle. How about that?
I ate yours.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Double fist and fudge-sickles. Um, no, but that's one thing I will never, ever, ever in my life give up. Um, Another thing that I actually, now this isn't something I did as a kid, but most kids eat this.
Yeah.
I was introduced it when I was an adult, maybe 2, 3 years ago. Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
So
Raccoon Puffs.
yes, I was always a Fruity Pebbles man. Always,
Oh, by far, that's my
hundred
no,
percent.
that's my go-to.
100%. I will
Yep.
never not eat my Fruity Pebbles. But it did kind of skew me away from Cocoa Puffs. I'm like, no, I don't want that. It's okay. I love chocolate though. That is a weakness. So I'm sitting there, eating my Fruity Pebbles, and somebody said, "Hey, Cocoa Puffs, you should try those." And I'm like, "Ah, no, thanks. I've been a Fruity Pebble man all of my life, 33 years to that point. I'm gonna keep going. Well, I broke down, I bought some. That that cereal turns your milk to chocolate milk.
Yes, it does.
That's 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 ridiculous. And when people said that, I'm like, okay, chocolate milk. Yeah, I get
How do
it.
you not
It's
know that?
it's chocolate because I never ate it.
Wow.
I had five cereals in my house. Five,
Okay.
confidently.
Wheaties,
Always for my no, for my
Cheerios,
yes. Number two,
Tricks.
think
Oh,
adults.
Mucilex,
No, but it's in that you're in the right
Cornflakes.
gastrointestinal. Raisin Bran.
Oh, Raisin Bran. Yeah,
Raisin
Raisin
Bran.
Bran.
So it's
Yeah,
basically the
yeah.
same thing, right?
Right.
And then the next three were mine.
Okay.
What do you think my top three are? And one of them obviously is Fruity Pebbles. You know that. What are the other two?
Fruit Loops.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. I don't know because are they in the same vein? Are they all in the fruity vein,
Yes. Yes.
or did you go somewhere different?
No, they were all fruity.
Hmm. I don't know. What would the third one be?
Lucky Charms.
Oh yes, magically delicious.
Those five cereals to this day. You put any one of them in front
Yeah.
of me, I will eat the whole damn box in one sitting.
We always got the choice, and we always got to choose one cereal. I do
Okay.
the same thing with the boys, right? So,
Sure.
and by the way, having a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old is phenomenal for when you want to go to the grocery store and get cereal because you
Yes.
get you steer them in the direction of
What?
honeycomb, which is one of my
Right.
favorites. After Fruity Pebbles, number one.
Mhm.
That is my go-to cereal. And then Trix, Fruit Loops, um, a cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
what's the other one that they always do? But well, my son likes Honey Nut Cheerios, my youngest one, for whatever reason. So he's all into that.
They're not
Uh,
bad.
and so, yeah, that's pretty phenomenal. But yeah, I definitely would tell you that cereal is probably one of those things from like my childhood that I definitely still take pleasure in the fact that I go down the cereal aisle and pick the really bad cereals that you're not supposed to take. But oh, so much
Well,
sugar.
so I will share with our wonderful audience. You've sent me pictures because you live in Ohio
Yeah.
and you are kind of like the testing ground for.
Yeah. Yeah, so in Dayton, there is a major food testing area. So you get stuff that no one ever sees, or you
Mhm.
get it way before everybody else. So when I go down the cereal aisle, I love to find these things that you were just like, I've never even known that existed, and send those pictures out and go, can you believe this existed, right? And the one was the honey bun cereal. Do you remember when I sent you
Yes,
that one?
yes, that's the
And
one I was
the
thinking of.
bowl of cereal has more sugar in it than an actual honey bun.
Yep, yep,
Get that for your kids.
yep,
Woo!
yep.
Dad, I'm mow the
It's
lawn. You're
I,
only 4.
it's just yeah, because I would cycle through those. I wouldn't have all of those in my house at the same time. Like the
No.
Raisin Bran and Cheerios, like Raisin Bran was for my grandparents, Cheerios
Yeah,
for my mom,
yeah.
and then for me, I would usually cycle between those three. On occasion, I tried Apple Jacks, garbage. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it's garbage.
We
Yeah,
had, Pokemon cereal the other day.
Pokemon cereal. Now,
Yeah.
what does that
That
taste like?
was it looked like they took Tricks and just recolored them, in all
That
honesty. I was like,
makes
I
sense.
don't know, but yeah, they had Pokemon cereal the other day. We have Sesame Street cereal. That was a new one I saw. Yeah, it was like in the shapes of Sesame Street characters.
Okay. What are the flavors? Are they just like
I have no
fruity
idea.
flavors?
I
Okay.
just saw the box. I didn't really
Ah, right, right.
investigate.
I'm trying to think what other. Oh, puffins. Have you ever had puffins?
Puffins. I
So
know the bird, the puffin.
yes, so
There's Puffin Rock, the
that's a
children's
big.
series, which is
That
very
is
good.
a. It's a very. It has a big puffin on the box. It's pretty delicious. It is
No, no, that one.
like I haven't had it in a while. I'm trying to remember what it tastes like, but I know I loved it. Like I ate it for a while. It
Yeah.
was kind of like a whole grainy with a little bit of a peanut butter taste. Like
Yeah.
it was very
Huh.
delightful.
Interesting.
But cereal is something that honey bunches of oats
Honey bunches of oats.
with almonds.
Sure.
That was something that Tiff showed to me because I would get my normal
She's trying to
child
help you eat a little bit
a little
healthier.
bit, and I was like, yeah, I'm
2
gonna
bowls
get.
of
Let's
Fruity Pebbles
see,
every morning.
do I want the big fruity pebbles or do I want the big
Yeah.
Lucky Charms? I think I'm in a more sugary mood, so let's go with the Lucky Charms. She's like, how about we try honey bunches of oats with almonds? And I'm like,
All right.
okay, it's
Guess I
stupid.
have to. That's like the cakes of
So
cereal.
it's
No one
so yeah, exactly,
cares.
right? It's so garbage, but it was actually really good.
Oh, all
Like
right.
I actually ate pretty much the whole box without really leaving her much, and she was like, "Well, next time we know maybe to get 2 boxes because when I eat breakfast, I like to eat breakfast every morning. So I
Right.
do things on if that's what I want to eat for breakfast, I'm going to eat that for breakfast. So
Absolutely.
sometimes I'm not always the most considerate person when it comes to shared food because I'm like, she doesn't want it today,
Thing
clearly.
where there's still milk in the bowl, you go pour more cereal so they can use up all the milk.
Of course.
And then the cereal to milk ratio is low, so you have to add more milk.
I have a very serious question for you, and this
Yes.
is going to determine the future of this podcast.
Okay, I can't wait.
Describe to me, okay, you have a bowl in front of you, you have your favorite cereal, and you have your milk.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of, almond, whatever. You have your milk and your cereal.
Yeah.
Describe to me the order of operations.
Oh, it's cereal first.
Okay, thank you, God.
Cereal first, then the milk.
'Cause
Because what you do is you're done pouring the milk when the milk lifts up the cereal.
if you
That
were
is
one of these psychopaths,
to do
and,
milk
and by,
first.
yeah, and if you're listening to
No.
this podcast or if you're watching it and you do milk first, I really want you to think, is this the right podcast for you to be listening to?
This
We
is
can't
really
be
what I should
we
be
can't be
talking about.
sending people away, but that is a very please don't listen to us offense, because that's like putting the toilet paper on backwards.
Right.
What
There's just
what
some
what is
things you
wrong with
don't
you?
do.
Yeah, there's just no, what is the purpose of that?
That's like
Like,
putting your sugar and your milk in before you put in your coffee.
what?
Like,
Yeah,
who
like
does?
you have to look at the color of the coffee. Is
That's
it too
right.
light? Is it too dark?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. I'm going down a whole separate tangent here because some
Nothing
things
to
need
do.
to be said, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Um, I'm
Got
trying to
that
think
out
of other
list.
things.
Uh, for me, I can tell
Yeah.
you one thing that, I hold on to from being a kid is comic
Mhm.
books.
Yeah,
I will not give up. I remember taking my wife to a comic book shop for the
sure.
first time,
Yeah.
and that was such an experience because at a comic book store, you don't necessarily get the most suave individuals who
Yep.
have been around girls. And
I
so
remember.
I
I haven't
remember
been to
the
a comic book
first
shop in a
time we
while,
went
but
in,
I remember.
we went to the comic book store, and my wife's like, "Oh, look at this." Oh, because she's never been to one. She's never
Sure.
had that experience in her life.
Right.
And all of a sudden, this guy who got up the nerve to talk to a girlfriend pretty much, I think, the first time goes, "Hey, there's more comics in the back."
Okay. I mean, good for him.
Like,
Not the smoothest line, but hey,
"Hey,
he said it.
nice job, pal."
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and she's like,
fantastic.
we got out of there and she was like, "Wow, that was an experience." And I go, "Well, first of all, I think that's the closest to a girl that 6 of those people have ever been."
I mean, it happens. So there was a comic book shop that my friends and I used to go to in a town called Western Springs that was right off railroad tracks. And after we were done with high school, that closed, sadly, we would either bike, walk, take the bus, take the train, whatever, down to this comic book shop. It was a cool place, but
Yeah,
it was one of those like little hidden places that was in a very odd area because
yeah,
Western Springs is a very there are a lot of people of money there, and
sure.
it was in a little, I don't even want to call it a strip mall. It was literally just on a road that was next to, it's not a frontage road, but it was right next to a train track, and it was like surrounded by an orthodontist and like a tile place. It was just very out of
The
place.
random
I thought it was
comic book store in the middle of
it
nothing
was
that you don't
so
make that
strange.
makes no sense. Yeah.
And I didn't think there were, well, actually, now that I think about it more, I didn't think at the time there were a ton of kids, but it was
Right.
only a few miles away from a pretty big high school. So I guess that does make sense. But it just always struck me strange as Western Springs being the place for that. But
Yeah.
it was a
I
place we went to pretty regularly.
I like the connotation that your, comic book shop was on the wrong side of the tracks.
It literally, that's
It
kind
was
of,
on
I
the
guess, what I was
other
getting
side
at.
of the
It was on
tracks,
the
like,
other side of the
we had
tracks.
to go across the tracks
Uh,
to get there. Mom and dad didn't like us crossing the tracks. I have a comic book observation actually
what?
uh, from the other day.
Hmm.
So there is this app that I have
Hmm.
for to entertain my my 6-year-old during soccer trainings and all the
Yeah.
stuff that we have to do, and it's called Happy Color. But they're all kinds of different ones, and they're like paint by numbers basically,
Okay.
right? And the one that we have has Marvel in it.
Oh, cool.
And so he's like doing all these, and then all these Spider-Man ones come up, and I go, and I never realized this until this moment, just the other day. Why is every original Spider-Man villain wearing green? Ready? The Vulture,
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
Green Goblin, it's in the name.
It's in.
Rhino originally was green, not gray. Uh, Scorpion, green. The Lizard, green. Mephisto, green. What is going on there? That
Okay.
I never ever thought, knew, realized, and
That's
I'm, like,
interesting.
looking through this, and you don't get till you get to, like, Kraven the Hunter,
Hmm.
or you get into, like, Carnage and Venom, right? All the original ones are all green. Every one of them wears green.
Hmm.
Don't know why.
That's a
Don't know if
fun
that's even a
little.
thing, but it's just like I started looking at, I was like, scorpion, green, lizard, green, vulture, green. Oh, they were all green.
That's a fun little piece of
But
information.
that has no bearing on anything.
But that's still
We have
it's
nowhere to go with that because both of us were like, oh my God.
it's a fun piece of information. I would never have known that, and you've just learned everyone here a new fun piece of comic book information.
It's the Dino
Ever,
and Joe Show. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back to the Dino and Joe Show. This is Dino. That is Joe. And I don't know if you noticed, but I got a new hat.
I see that.
Yeah.
WMI,
No, no,
VVAAT,
no.
W
Uh-huh. Oh,
A O W O.
A.
Oh, I see the O A. Okay, I
WOA.
see that. It's not easy, but I see it.
So this stands for walk on mentality. And I'm sorry, it's WOM.
Okay,
There, but it's WOM. Walk on mentality.
okay,
So actually very cool. Three of the former walk-on players at the University of Iowa got together, walk-on football players, and created a clothing line.
oh,
And a portion of the proceeds go to give scholarships to walk-on athletes because walk-on athletes, as most people don't know, aren't on scholarship, but yet have
right.
to have the same schedule and the same ability to be able as a scholarship athlete.
Hmm.
But they rely on family or loans or whatever it
Right,
is to get their education. And then hopefully they eventually get a scholarship. And
right,
you see those all over the internet where kids, are walk-ons and then they get a scholarship and, what that moment is. And that's really cool. But these
right.
guys got together, the three former University of Iowa football players, and they started this company and it's called Walk On Mentality. You can
That's
find it
awesome.
online and you can order a range of clothing and then part of the proceeds go to help pay for college for walk-on athletes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I found it
That's
while I
really
was like,
awesome.
yeah,
I like that a lot.
so and I just happened to be an alumni of the University of Iowa, so um, thought it was
Makes
a
sense.
good cause, and so I bought a new hat.
I love that
My,
hat.
my wife doesn't know I bought it. So.
Yeah, it's our little secret. It's you, me, and 31 other people.
Yeah,
It's our little
that's right.
secret.
No one's gonna tell her.
Yeah, not at all. Just go to the comic book shop. Nobody will.
Right, exactly.
It'll be totally fine. That's
So,
funny.
anyway. All right, so what do you want to talk about?
So there was another thing that I was thinking about, and this one was a fan write-in. The
Okay.
last one was a fan and write-in as well. This
Yes.
again, our fans flood us. We have to pick one or two
We
things.
really do have to sort through these
We do have
ideas.
to. It's difficult because we only have a limited amount of space in this inbox.
Right.
Um, and it made me think about something that to this day haunts me at how I missed it. So it's obvious things that you've missed, right? It could
Okay.
be a song lyric,
Yep.
scientific fact. For
Okay.
me, it's a movie.
Yes.
Okay, or a movie title more accurately. I I don't remember if I talked about this, but I am a big fan of the movie Sister Act. Love the movie Sister Act and Sister Act 2. Love them both. There's very few things.
65-year-old man
If that
trapped
movie's
in a
on TV,
30-year-old man's body
listen to me. If that
because
movie
he
is on
loves the movie
TV,
Sister
I
Act.
will not
Holy
turn it
cow.
off. I will turn it up and I will cancel whatever I'm doing, sit there for a minute and oh happy day, oh happy day. I will absolutely do it. And by no means am I overly religious, but it's just a darn good movie. Okay, so
I haven't
that's
seen that movie in a very long time,
go
but
back and watch it. It's not bad.
okay.
Dolores Van Cartier, aka Sister Mary Clarence, like
She's hiding
it's
from like the mafia or something,
yeah.
right? In the
So
convent.
in the first movie, Harvey Keitel. Spoiler alerts, everybody. I'm going to give the whole thing away. If you
Oh
haven't seen it
no.
though, in
Well, they
fairness,
haven't seen this movie.
you've had
Oof.
almost 30 years. It's your
Yeah,
fault.
right.
So Harvey Keitel is a mob guy. He kills a guy.
Very
She
believable, by the
walks
way.
in and
Boy,
sees it.
what casting that was, Harvey Keitel. He's, he's got mob boss written all over him. So
So she walks in. She's a lounge singer. She sees the
yeah,
murder.
that's right.
He's like, "Go grab her so I can just talk to her." He doesn't plan to kill her, but she runs.
Yep.
Goes to the police. The police
Yep.
are like, "We need to put you somewhere." where's a great point
the
or
police
place?
put her in the convent
Correct.
as a place
As
to
a
hide her.
witness protection thing, right?
Yes.
And then, but the nuns don't know that she's not a nun. They just said she was
Right.
coming from somewhere else. And then she starts directing the choir, and then the Pope comes, and then Harvey
Of
Keitel
course.
finds
Why
her.
would the Pope not be there?
And then, well, that's the very, very end. Again, spoiler alerts. And all the nuns pile into a helicopter because they fly to Reno, Nevada to catch her from the bag. It's fantastic. The second one,
By the way, when you
yes,
tell the plot of that movie,
yeah.
it doesn't get better.
It,
It's like, what?
I love that.
Like, that's
It's so good. It's on the edge of your seat action the whole time.
like if you
Period.
listen to like how you just explain that entire
I'm
movie, you
yeah.
go, what? Like, huh?
Let's see if the second one reels you in. Let's see if the second
80s
one reels you in.
concept movies are just phenomenal, aren't they?
So the second
Was
one,
it an
and I
80s
won't.
movie or was it a 90s movie?
It was a '90s movie,
Okay.
early '90s, like 92,
Got
93.
it. Okay, yeah. So it was late 80s, early 90s, what I was thinking.
Uh,
But
so I'm not going to say the title of the second. It's Sister Act 2, and I'll the second. This is the part that we're gonna
Electric
ultimate.
Boogaloo.
We're gonna. The
Because that
ultimate
should be
part
the
is
end. That should be on the second of every movie is
of
Electric Boogaloo.
everything.
It works, by the
Electric
way,
Boogaloo.
for every movie. I don't care
I
what
believe it.
movie it is. You remember Breakin'?
Yeah.
Breakin' 2 was called Electric Boogaloo.
Really?
Yeah, it was Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. And I have adopted that throughout my radio career. I've spread it everywhere that at the end of every movie that ends in 2, you have to say Electric Boogaloo, and it
Back
always works. It
Back to the
always works.
Future 2, Electric. Yeah,
Electric
you're right.
Boogaloo. It never fails.
Jurassic. Oh,
Rambo
it's
2, Electric Boogaloo.
yeah, you're right. It does add a new level of something to it,
It
doesn't it?
does. Okay, so the plot of Sister Act 2, because the
So
first one was so amazing, they made a
So the
second.
second, you damn straight they did. So now Dolores Van Cartier is still a lounge singer, doing great.
Yep.
The sisters visit her because their school, Saint Francis, is
Yeah.
in
Closing, right?
peril. It's going to close. So they're trying to get
This is
her.
close to home for you.
It is. It's very close now. I didn't know it back then, but now it is. So they bring her in, and she takes the choir and it
Right?
makes it to the all again. Spoiler alerts. Makes it to the all state music competition, and guess what?
Oh, wait.
They win.
Wait.
They win.
No.
They
Is
do.
this Back in the Habit? Is that what it was
Okay.
called?
So pause for a second. So this is where I feel like I am the dumbest human in the world. I saw this movie. I love this movie. I've seen this movie for years. I don't know how many times I've seen it. So many times. So I was always like, okay, she's back in the habit. She's doing it again. Good for her.
No.
I forget. I went to a Catholic school. I had nuns. The habit is what a nun wears.
Yes.
She's
Yes, it
in the
is.
habit again,
You
essentially.
never got the
Never got.
pun?
Tiff is the one who told me that. She was like, "That's funny because it's two ways," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Two ways?" She's doing it again. She's back in the habit, and she's like, "Babe, back in the habit. Nuns wear habits. I didn't go to a Catholic school. I know this. What is wrong with you?" And I was like,
I knew that.
"Oh my god!" My mind was blown.
How long ago did you find this out?
I was 34,
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
so like a year ago. I never claimed to be a smart man, but yeah, I am what I am. So
Oh.
Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. I never got that Back in the Habit meant a
Oh,
nun's habit. So I thought she
that's
was just doing it
yeah.
again. It's yeah.
Oh, mine is nowhere near that good. I'm just gonna tell
I
you.
thought it
That
was
was
good. I don't have
phenomenal.
much.
Uh,
I'm a simple man,
is it
literally.
now I've lost the band, but you know the song "Blinded by the Light,"
Yeah,
wrapped up like a.
like a douche in the night.
I never got that. It took me forever to figure out what the hell that was.
Isn't it a deuce?
I don't, to this day,
Oh, hold on.
everyone says douche, so I
It's
don't know.
Blinded by the Light. I need to figure this out now. I need to know
Manfred
the
Mann,
band. It's what?
Manfred Mann,
Manfred
is it?
Mann, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's who it is.
yeah.
Okay. So why? It's a lot of interesting things that are coming up. Why do I see bright light with blind spots? What? That's God in heaven. What is that? Oh, so apparently it was first written by Bruce Springsteen.
Yes, that I did know.
I didn't know that. Lyrics. I don't think so. Because we because we sang wrapped up like a douche and it wasn't written like that and I screwed it up completely. It sounded like douche instead of deuce. So it is deuce.
Ah, I don't know what the next line is either. No one can ever tell me that.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a deuce, and then falling into. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I just mumbled that part. You're
Everybody
100%
does,
right.
because everyone gets stuck on that line. Like, what? Why would you write that? Yeah,
Yeah. Hold on.
totally missed that
Blinded.
when I was younger, and even into an adult. I still don't know what the next line is, and I've always
Uh,
wondered, like, why is that lyric so prevalent? And
it's
yet
a very fair point.
that's what we all know it as. And I didn't know.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
And she was blinded by the light who cut loose. Hold on, let me put it over here so I can see a little bit bigger. There we go. Blinded by the light and ooh, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. She got down, but she never got tight, but she'll make it all right.
I'll tell you what,
I
dude
don't
fits right in
understand.
there in those lyrics.
It really does. Okay, so if we're going to talk about song lyrics, this may
Yeah.
it's Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. I'm a huge fan of the Spin Doctors.
Yes.
I still cannot confidently tell you what the lyric is, but I know it is big syrup on his jacket is what I always thought it was. Hold on, so I got Two
I
Prince.
know, yeah, I know the song.
I got to think of what the actual lyrics are. Okay. Oh wow, I love the internet. It just gives you everything you need right with one click of the button. Um. Oh, okay. So the actual lyric is this one. He's got a princely racket,
Yeah,
got some big seal upon his jacket.
yeah.
But I always heard it as this one, he's got a princely racket. That's what I said now. Got some big syrup on his jacket, but it's big seal upon his jacket. It's just funny how there's so
On
many
his
lyrics
jacket.
that you go through that just you assume you're right because
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
People
Uh
missing lyrics all the time.
okay.
All
Here is something. Here are two more things that I will admit as a child I was not the sharpest.
okay.
I I didn't ever have a lisp, but I just never learned how to say the word deaf, as in
Deaf?
unable to hear. Deaf,
Yes,
DEAF.
yes.
I always thought it was death, like
As in, like,
death.
people dying?
Yes. So
Well,
I would always be
that's a
like,
very bad connotation for someone who can't hear. Holy
duh. I would say,
cow.
"What are you, deaf?" And
Oh!
I was like in second and third grade, and I would keep getting in trouble. They're like, "You can't say that." I'm like, "I'm
What
sorry, I
what
don't
does that
understand
mean?
what's wrong."
Right.
I'm not trying to be insensitive. And then my second or third grade teacher called in my parents, and they were like, "Are you calling people deaf?" And I was like, "No, you can't hear." And they're like, "Oh,
How'd your
that's
mom say that?
deaf, deaf." Oh,
How'd you
how?
how Yeah, how'd your mom
Oh,
ask you that?
oh, it's son. What are you doing? You're telling people they're deaf. They're not deaf. They're not Grim Reapers. They're unable to hear. She sounds nothing like that whatsoever.
Oh, she
Like,
does in my mind.
yeah,
Uh,
well, she does in my mind too.
I'm
Obviously,
gonna be really disappointed the day I meet her and she doesn't talk like that. I'll be like,
at
"Really?"
all,
Oh,
at all. Number two,
yes.
this one scared me for my mother.
Okay.
So she was talking about how somebody got fired from her job. Now, I was not
Okay.
worried that she would be fired because she would lose her job. I
Yes.
was worried because I was under the assumption that when somebody got fired, they were fired out of a cannon. Hand to God, that's what I thought. I don't know why, but I thought when somebody got fired, they shoved them in a cannon
Oh
and
my
just,
goodness.
and then away they went. I did not want that to
That
happen. Or
that is a very unique way to get somebody out of your office, though, that you no longer want to work there. I actually, if HR would back that, I'd fully support
I would be for that, right?
that.
It's one of those
I'm
things
gonna
where
need you to put on this helmet, Tom. We
we
got some bad news for
got
you.
some bad news for you. It's your
We're
last
going in a
day.
different direction. Goodbye.
It's one of those things that I always felt so silly about, but just never realized. And I told her, one day she's like, "Oh, Jimmy got fired," and I was like, "No, I don't want you to get fired." And she's like, "I won't. It's okay. I'll be able to support us." And I was like, "I don't know what that means. I don't want you fired out of a cannon." Yeah, I was not a smart child, and I'm not sure I'm a smart adult either. I just know how to hide it better, I think.
It's the Dino and Joe Show.